The frost glistens across the fields, and the soft sounds of animals stir in the crisp morning air. As the seasons shift, a quiet expectancy fills the land, a reminder of the peace we carve in our homes during Christmas. In this busy, noisy world, the holidays have a way of amplifying the noise. But as homemakers, we're given the sacred task of cultivating an atmosphere that whispers of something deeper. And let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in one body, and be thankful. Colossians 3:15. This peace begins within us, spilling out into the homes we shape, the traditions we keep, and the love we share.
If you put this in the sunlight, you can see my nose.
Inside, the warmth of a home decorated for Christmas tells a story. It's not about perfection, it's about intention. Each light strung, each ornament hung, each simple touch is an invitation for peace to dwell here. As the psalmist wrote, "Be still and know that I am God." Psalms 46:10. In the stillness, we find Him. In the chaos of wrapping paper and to-do lists, we can choose to pause and breathe, letting His peace fill every corner of our hearts and homes. This is the heart of Christmas. It's not the perfection of our decorations or the grandeur of our plans, but the humble recognition that Christ came to bring peace on earth and peace in our homes. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and His name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah 6:9. As we prepare our hearts and homes this season, let's invite His peace to reign.
The videos and content this week were shot the day before Thanksgiving, as I rather frantically got ready to have company and guests the following day. This pregnancy, we're about 21 weeks now, and so I was kind of feeling a little bit off with this pregnancy. Baby is healthy, I'm healthy, pregnancy is actually going quite wonderful, but as often happens in that second half of pregnancy, you start getting uncomfortable. So I was a little bit more frantic than usual. I actually shot this video on the day before Thanksgiving. Listened back to it and I was like, man, I'm a basket case. I cannot put this on YouTube. So I am reshooting it right now because I was just a little bit frantic, a little bit off. All of my YouTube creative juices were gone. And that is usually the day of the week that I decide on my YouTube content for the following week. And so I decided to do something a little bit more simple for me, and it's a little bit different of a format. I decided that I was going to, while I prepare for Thanksgiving, listen to 3 holiday homemaking podcasts that I had saved, then highlight them here on YouTube. Don't worry, it's not going to be a commercial. Of course, I'll tell you what the podcasts are and a little bit about the creator behind it. Okay, come get a hug. So I want to tell you about the 3 holiday homemaking podcasts and how they impacted my heart as I prepared for Thanksgiving and the Christmas season. And I think that is exactly what these 3 podcasts did. And I just invite you to come along with me as I clean, bake, cook, clean, I already said cleaning, and prepare to have guests over on Thanksgiving Day. As always, I hope you are encouraged and inspired by your time here.
The first podcast I think is worth sharing comes from Durenda Wilson, who is an author, mom of 6, and previous homeschooler, who has an inspiring, insightful, and always worth the listen podcast. One of her most recent podcasts is with author Marty Makowski, who I actually have a number of book reviews on my website from. It's a 28-minute podcast about his recent upside-down Advent book that is called Promises Made, Promises Kept. I was actually sent this book for review and have a full review on my website if you want something to look up that is more visual and something that you just read. My favorite part of this podcast was when Durenda and Marty talked about doing family devotions and the fruit that comes from consistency. Marty talked about how doing family devotions or Bible reading is like a drip on a marble countertop. One drip of water doesn't make much of an impact, but put a drip on a marble countertop consistently, you'll eventually see it penetrating the surface. What a wonderful way to think about pouring into the lives of our kids. I walked away from that podcast with a renewed vision to read the Bible to our children and to remain consistent with our Advent blocks tradition and the Bible reading that comes along with it. As the holiday season progresses, I want to remind you of one of my favorite companies, which is Papa Bear Naturals. They have recently been launching so many fun products, like their tallow lip balm, which would be perfect for a stocking stuffer. They also released their new rejuvenating face wash and tallow chips, which I still haven't tried, but I'm very eager to. I am absolutely obsessed with Papa Bear's natural rich tallow whipped lotion. It contains organic grass-fed beef tallow, cold-pressed olive oil, local honey, and beeswax. I've heard from many of you that you are loving the whipped tallow, and it's helping with a variety of issues, and honestly, I love to hear that. Make sure you check out some of Papa Bear's other products, like their restorative tallow balm, or check out some of their new ones. Papa Bear lotions and products will make the perfect holiday gift or stocking stuffer for anyone in your life. Now through December 25th, my link will get you 35% off Papa Bear products.
When are you ready for this guy? Never?
Let's take a break and do a recipe of the week segment. I did actually make these for Thanksgiving, but it's usually something we enjoy during the Christmas season more often. If you're craving a deliciously sweet snack without the added sugar, this sugar-free candied pecans recipe is your perfect solution. Made with simple ingredients and naturally sugar-free sweeteners, these crunchy pecans are a great low-carb snack that fits perfectly into a keto diet or any healthy lifestyle. And of course, you can adjust it if you'd rather use normal sugar. What's really special about this recipe is how many times people have tried them at holiday parties or family gatherings and have been shocked to find out they're sugar-free. They always ask, "Are you sure there's no real sugar in these?" It's rewarding to see the surprised look on their faces when I explain how sugar alternatives like stevia make this sweet treat a reality without the extra carbs or added sugar. This recipe is near and dear to my heart because it's one I've been tweaking and perfecting for about 4 years. From experimenting with different sugar substitutes to adjusting the seasoning mix, I've poured a lot of love into making it just right. The best part is how versatile it is. It's fabulous as a snack or a salad topper. It pairs beautifully with other holiday dishes. I know this recipe will be a staple in your home for years to come, and I hope it becomes a favorite in your family too. For the recipe, you'll need pecans, an egg white, Trevia or gentle sweet, both are a stevia-based sweetener, cinnamon, molasses, salt, and nutmeg. I know you will love it, so try it out and let me know what you think. Homemaking is an art. It's a beautiful art that sometimes we take advantage of and sometimes we don't. The Art of Home podcast with Allison dives into the beauty, challenges, and intentionality of homemaking as both a skill and an art form. With insightful interviews and practical advice, Allison celebrates the timeless value of homemaking, encouraging listeners to craft our homes with love, care, and purpose. During the holiday season, her Holiday Homemaker series adds a festive layer to this mission. It's a warm and inviting exploration of how homemakers can embrace the joys and demands of the season. From creating meaningful traditions to managing the chaos with grace, Allison's holiday episodes inspire listeners to cultivate a sense of peace and purpose amid the hustle. Whether it's tips for hosting, heartfelt reflections, or ideas to keep Christ at the center of the celebration, this series is a holiday hug for the soul of every homemaker. And I have been listening to this for a few years now. I actually remember where I found this series. I was walking around Target and I had listened to all of the holiday podcasts I possibly could get my hands on that season. And I literally typed in the search bar holiday homemaking, and that is how I found this podcast. And I honestly binged as many of her holiday homemaking podcasts as I possibly could because I found them so inspiring. And it's honestly one of my favorite traditions that I continue now every season. There are currently 3 holiday homemaking episodes that Allison has produced for 2024, but you can go all the way back to 2022 and listen to many more, which I have found myself doing. On these episodes, Allison interviews the year's past guests about their holiday memories and traditions. She has not just in the trenches homemakers, but also seasoned homemakers and those who are even empty nesters. I would consider these Titus 2 women who we really need to spend time learning from and seeking their wisdom. I can't remember if it was her guest, Brittany Duncan, or Kathy Bauer, but one of them shared a super practical holiday tip, and that's the downloaded app called Santa's Bag. This app is particularly helpful for those who do early Christmas shopping. It allows you to set budgets for each person, what you bought, and even where you hid it, which certainly got a chuckle from me when they talked about that part. I also really appreciated Lydia's Good's reflection on focusing on sitting at the feet of Jesus during the holiday season before we pour into our family. I think that's sometimes something that moms are really bad at during the season, as we are so focused on creating memories for our children. I encourage you to go listen to any of the holiday homemaking podcasts. It seemed like I had listened to a lot of podcasts at this point in the day and wanted something lighter, which is why I turned to another favorite podcast called The Simple Farmhouse Life by Lisa Boone from Farmhouse on Boone. That was a mouthful. I have a feeling that if you enjoy podcasts and immerse yourself in homemaking or the homesteading world, you've probably heard of her. There's no current holiday episode from 2024 when I am recording and talking and making this video, but I always loved turning back a bit and listening to past podcasts. A favorite was about cozy Christmas decorating with Sarah of She Holds Dearly from 2023. This is an exceptionally practical podcast about decorating for the holidays, from taking your tree lighting to the next level by stringing each individual branch with lights, to how to store your decorations for success the next year. I really liked her wisdom for DIYers and thrift store finders. She stated that our decor can certainly come from a DIY vision or a thrift store, but it should not look like it was cheap. She has some amazing tips for garlands from thrift stores and using a less than desirable garland as a base and then filling it with greenery from outside or more upscale items. I love that idea and I really want to try it. And I really wanted to try it for this video, but honestly, just didn't have the time. Maybe next year or in an upcoming video. The other thing that I really liked is, and this was actually probably my favorite thing that I took away from these podcasts, she compared Christmas decorating, or even just homemaking decorating, to molasses. And she talked about how with molasses, you have a large container of molasses that you have to boil down to get all the water out until you get down to the good stuff, which ends up being just a small amount. And she compared that to holiday decorating, saying that a little bit goes a long way, and we really want to boil our decorating or just even our traditions down to the really good stuff, which is not going to be a lot. And I actually really needed that reminder, especially for homeschooling, because I have been striving to do more and more and have been receiving a ton of reminders that I need to do less, and I just kept fighting it. And honestly, yesterday I finally realized that I have to stop fighting this. This is obviously something that God is putting on in my path, and I need to listen to his wisdom and to the wisdom of others and start doing less instead of more. And that really spoke to my heart. If you need some practical wisdom and inspiration for the holidays, I encourage you to listen to that episode from Farmhouse on Boone.
A clay on there.
There you go. But I've used little pieces of Play-Doh for clay. I think you're going to get a lot farther doing it like that.
As the day winds down and the lights of Christmas softly glow, we're reminded that peace isn't found in the perfectly wrapped gifts or the flawlessly executed plans. It's found in the still moments when we let Christ's love seep into the fabric of our home. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Numbers 6:24-26. My prayer for you this season, and for me, is that as you listen to these podcasts and gather inspiration, you'll carry this peace into every corner of your home, making it a sanctuary that reflects the love of our Savior. Let's not just celebrate Christmas, let's live its peace every single day.